guys, what's up? My name is Chloe and I'm a private pilot. This is my little co-pilot, Papi Chulo, and today we are reading the next thrilling installment of Instrument Pilot Oral Exam Guide, 11th edition by Jason Blair. We are up to Chapter 1, Preflight, Part D, IFR Flight Plan, except we are not actually reading this book to you out loud because we can't, because we'll get a copyright strike. So instead, we are reading the very, very thorough notes that we've taken from this book, each and every part of it. And remember, the book is written in a question and answer format, so it's supposed to like mock an oral exam. And I am reading the question in my mother's Brooklyn accent just to keep you entertained. And I'll tell you where in the FAAM or FAA handbook or advisory circular all this information can be found. And then I'll read the answer in my normal speaking voice to keep things moving. Okay, so without further delay, let's start. Chapter 1, Preflight, Part D, IFR Flight Plan. Question 1. When must you file an IFR flight plan? AIM 5116. Before departing from within or entering into controlled airspace and weather minimums less than VFR. At least 30 minutes prior to your ETD, your estimated time of departure. So less than VFR, 30 minutes before you leave. Question 2. When must you use an ICAO format flight plan, AIM 516? And if you're watching, if you're not listening and you're watching this video, this is the flight plan. This is an IFR flight plan that us VFR pilots need to get used to, because we're going to be using it every time. So that's form 7233-4. So you need it when you're gonna fly IFR. But that doesn't just apply to weather minimums. It's also geared towards specific airspace like Class Alpha, and the book mentions certain oceanic airspaces. You need to use that flight plan when you leave U.S. airspace, no matter the altitude or airspace that you are flying at or into. And also when assigned an RNAV, standard instrument departure, and standard terminal arrival route, or any other performance-based route, navigation routing, PBN routing. So that's when you need to file that flight plan. All right, question 3. When does ATC delete flight plans that haven't been activated? AIM 5113. 2 hours after the proposed departure time or expect departure clearance time. You can update your departure time if you think you'll be delayed more than 2 hours. And if you didn't do it, you just file a new one. All right, moving along. Question 4. When can you cancel an IFR flight plan? AIM 5115. When you're operating in VFR conditions outside Class Alpha. All right, question 5. On form 7233-4, that form I just showed you, what altitude do you put in the area level? So right now I'm about to talk about 2 places that you fill in here, and I've highlighted them in green, level, and then right there is cruising speed. We'll talk about that right after. So what do you put there? So you put the planned cruising level for the first or whole portion of the route to be flown in terms of flight level or altitude in hundreds of feet. So I think with flight level, that's just if you're in Class Alpha. If you're below 18,000, or if you're 17,999 feet and less, you would put altitude A. So like A040 would be 4,000 feet. A170 will be 17,000 feet. And then with cruising speed, you would put the true airspeed for the first or whole portion of the flight in terms of knots, so expressed as N followed by 4 digits. And the book gives the example N0485, or Mach number to the nearest 100th unit Mach. The book gives the example M082. All right, skip question 6 because it was dumb. Question 7. When do you file an alternate? 91,169. If there's less than 2,000 feet and 3 statute miles of visibility an hour before, an hour after your ETA. And then if the book says, if there is an IAP at the alternate, you use the minimums in the IAP, or if none are specified, and it's a precision approach, it's 600 feet, 2 statute miles of visibility. Non-precision approach, 802 statute miles of visibility. Guys, have you ever seen an IAP without minimums? Because I haven't. So that's what the book mentions. If there's no minimums in the IAP, you would revert to the precision approach and non-precision approach standards. I think that's in 91-169. So if there's no IAP at the alternate, the ceiling, and this is important, the ceiling and visibility minimums are those allowing descent from the MEA, the minimum en route altitude approach, and landing under basic VFR. So, very important. That whole part of the FAR AIM, 91-169, and all the regs, like before and after, like I would say those like 10 after and the several before are very important for instrument. Go look that up, very important. All right, so question 8. When would an airport not qualify as an alternate on that form that I showed you just now, 72-33-4, FAA Handbook 8083-16? If the airport nav aid is unmonitored or it does not have weather reporting capabilities. Also, if you see a triangle with the letter A on the approach chart, the listing of that airport as an alternate should be consulted. Basically, you can't list it. If you see the A with the triangle, you can't list it as an alternate. Question 10. Yeah, I skipped 9. Yeah, question 10. Does the alternate need to have an instrument approach procedure? 91-169. No, but remember the ceiling and visibility minima have to allow descent from the MEA approach and landing under basic VFR. Skipped 11, skip 12, 13. This is a hypothetical question, so tune in and follow me right now, okay? So they suggest you notice as you plan that your destination has no IAP, and the weather is 3,000 feet, 5 statute miles within that 1 hour before, 1 after hour ETA. Must you file an alternate? 91-169. Yes, and it sounds like it should be no based on the 1-2-3 rule we just talked about, where it's 2,000 feet, 3 statute miles, an hour before, an hour after, because you have better weather here. You have 3,000 feet and 5 statute miles. But 91-169 says that you need an alternate if there's no IAP and weather minimums are below that 2,000 and 3 statute miles. Remember, in this example, your destination doesn't have an IAP. So it has to meet both of those criteria. That's a trick question. It's a good question. Okay, so question 14, another hypothetical. You just went missed and your destination for weather, 14. You just went missed at your destination because of weather, and during climb out, you can't contact ATC and you head to the filed alternates on the plan. That's where you put. You head there. Okay? Does ATC already know where you're going? AIM 516. No, they don't. Actually, that information is only in the air traffic computer system. It is not presented to controllers. You must notify them and request an amended clearance. Almost done, Poppy. All right, question 17. When using TSO C129 and TSO C196 non-WAS GPS equipment, what are the restrictions regarding filing an airport as an alternate? So you file an alternate no matter what. If the intended destination is served only by GPS approaches, and the alternate must have an available instrument approach procedure that does not require the use of GPS. So non-WAS. So when using Technical Standard Order C129 and C196 non-WAS GPS, the restrictions regarding filing an airport as an alternate is that you have to file an alternate no matter what. Yeah. And the alternate must have an available instrument approach procedure that does not require the use of GPS. All right, question 18. What instrument approach procedure may you use at the required alternate when using TSO C145, C146 WAS equipments? AIM 1-118. If you are WAS equipped, you can use an airport serviced only with GPS-based approaches as an alternate. You can. All right, question 19. This is the last question. What restrictions apply to flight planning when using WAS avionics at the alternates? AIM 1-118. Flight planning must be based on flying the RNAV, LNAV, or circling minima line or minima on a GPS approach procedure or conventional approach procedure with or GPS in the title. Upon arrival at the alternate, when the system shows LNAV, VNAV, or LPV available, then vertical guidance may be used to complete the approach using the displayed level of service. And non-precision approach minimums must be used for planning. So, guys, that is all for Chapter 1, Preflight, Part D, IFR Flight Planning. Yeah, I'm gonna keep on keeping on. I just came from the airport. We were just shooting approaches right now. Am I sick for saying I enjoy shooting approaches? I don't know. There's something about it that's just, you know, when you take off the hood at minimums and you're like, oh my God, we're here. There's just something so satisfying about that. I love it so much. Poppy, not as much, right? Because usually he's in the flight school when I'm out doing that. And it makes him sad. That Clo would do something without him. But he doesn't behave very well in the car, so I can't even imagine the plane. All right, guys, we are going to keep on studying, keep on taking notes, and we will see you very soon. All right, take care. Bye.